People wonder why we need a union at Starbucks, and I am literally about to quit. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but like, I really want to. I almost walked out today, and I'm crying in the back room right now, and I almost cried on the floor. It's just, I'm like a full-time student. I get scheduled for 25 hours a week, and then on weekends they schedule me the entire day, open to close. I'm on the schedule for 8.5 hours, both Saturday and Sunday. I'm like 3.5 hours into my shift. There's so many customers, and we have 4 people on the floor all day. Only 5 people were put on the schedule, and somebody had to call out, and there are 4 people running the whole store, and there's so many customers, and there's possibly scheduled 5 people. We only have 13 people employed at this store, and there's so many customers, and they're good. We don't have fair scheduling. Managers don't care about us. Our manager was supposed to come in this weekend, and he took himself off the schedule, so he wouldn't be able to be held accountable for calling out. He just literally tore down the schedule that he was scheduled on and put up a new schedule where he wasn't on the schedule. Also, he couldn't have even seen that he was scheduled in the first place because he didn't want to be held accountable for not wanting to come in. They don't want to help us. We need a union because this can't happen. This can't happen. We need fair scheduling. We need managers to hold themselves accountable for helping their workers. They refuse to turn mobile orders off. We need the liberty to be able to do that because there's so many mobile orders, and I need to get through all of them. And then people are yelling at me because I don't have their orders ready, and they don't know what to do. And a customer was misgendering me today, like really badly. I didn't have their order ready, and so they were just like talking to each other, and they're like, "She's clearly incompetent." I have a full mustache and beard. What the fuck? I don't get accommodations for being neurodivergent. I don't. Like, I can't use. People get mad at me for using my sick time. I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm like at my wit's end with this job. I really am. I just want to be alone. People want.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who rule well, peace, and blessings to the hopeful elect and the men of the Lord, prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, Barakathum. And this lesson is just going to be titled, The Most High Set Up the Basis of Man to Rule Over Us. All right, now, just having a base man, just even having to work with a base man is really a punishment, let alone have one rule over you. But this just goes to show you the decadence of this place, of how the men of today basically aren't really men anymore. All right, and then you're seeing this especially go down with the Edomites, man. They have very low testosterone. They're very sensitive. They're hopped up on anti-anxiety medication. They can't deal with normal problems of the world, man. And you would ask yourself, how did a race of people like this get the victory over, not over the Israelites, but over the whole world? Well, that's written in the scriptures, man, and I'll get that in a second. But the main point is that this video that you see right here is a main sign, a signifier that this place is basically done. It's through. All right, you got young men can't grow a full beard because testosterone down. He's complaining about working an 8-hour shift, man. All right, 40 hours a week, and this guy's young. Okay. You know, he's probably of some kind of non-binary sort, talking about he's getting misgendered. Like that's how you know that we're at the end, man. And this is proof that the Lord has us here for punishment, because these people are not better than us, man. All right? They're not anywhere close. As you can see here, it's evident on this video here, man. All right? Let me get this precept real quick. Slovakia. Which is Genesis 25 and 23. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right, now that was a major prophecy. If you know about Genesis 25, all right, it goes into the prophecies of Jacob and Esau, the outcome, all right, of the end of the world even, all right. It says Esau would get the fatness of the earth, and Jacob would then get the fatness of the earth at the latter end, all right. Now, when you read the symbology of how Jacob and Esau are born, basically Jacob comes out after Esau, but his hand is latched onto his heel, signifying that he would be the one to take down the kingdom. All right? And that's also proof that the Most High set up Esau to be in this kingdom. That's how, okay, that's how we got in this position, man. All right? This kingdom is a punishment, man. It's nothing to follow. The Lord has already pronounced judgment against this place. And when all hell breaks loose, these men are not going to stand up. They're not going to fight. You women are through. Okay? This is the quality of men that's going on these days. And the ones that are more masculine, all right, Esau's going to roll on them. All right? Anybody that's a so-called threat, all these militias they got there out there in the wilderness, you know, you got Esau got different military militias, you know, out in these rural areas that, you know, they make their own firearms, they practice on a regular basis, a lot of them make their own ammunition even, and all they do is shoot. Well, Esau knows where all of that is. All of that's going to be deaded, man. Esau's going to roll on that quick. All right, and what are you going to do in that day? What men are you going to look to? All right, it's going to be the men of the Lord that have that glow, all right, that aren't swayed by the chaos going on around us. The scriptures say we would be stabilized through wisdom, all right, and that's going to be evident. That's Isaiah 4:1 is going to lead to that prophecy where it says 7 women shall hold on to 1 man, and they're going to be desperate. This ain't going to be just because Jake is all of that. No, we're not going to have those bodies yet during that time, but all hell will be breaking loose. All right, and women are going to understand that, and a lot of these men are going to die. You can read 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. All right, where it says all the brides, all right, their husbands would go and die in war, and they would die of famine. Okay, let me read Ezekiel 29. Okay, and let me start at this thing here is giving me problems, I guess. But let me just go back to it, man. Ezekiel 29:13, it says, yet thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, at the end of 40 years will I gather the Egyptians from the people, whether they were scattered. All right. Now it's a little confusing because these Egyptians are going to be basically Israelites that would be living in Egypt. All right, which we know today America is spiritually Egypt and Sodom. Okay. All right, and the Egyptians themselves, the actual Egyptians, man, they're gonna be back in their land as well. All right, and all of these philosophies, when you find out, you can trace them all back to Egypt, pretty much. All these different pantheons of different gods and recycled versions of the same God. Most of them go back to Egypt, man. You know, as soon as Ham got off the boat with his father Noah and his brothers, they moved south into the land of Ham and immediately started being, you know, idolaters, man. All right, because really Ham was never right, man. Okay, worshiping all kind of things in heaven. All right, and that's why the descendants of Ham, later on the Canaanites, the Lord told us not to mix with those people, man. All right, when we got into the land. But anyway, Ezekiel 29:14, it says, and I will bring again the captivity of Egypt. All right. Meaning he's gonna end the captivity over here. All right. It says, and will cause them to return into the land of Pathros, into the land of their habitation, and they shall be there a base kingdom. All right. So the Lord is saying all of these kingdoms that you idolize, you got Jake all into Egyptology. All right. He thinks he's Kemet. He's all that. The Lord says he's going to basically, when he shows up, all right, and resets everything, he's going to put Egypt in its rightful place, which is at the bottom. Okay. He says you're going to be the basis of kingdoms. Because Ham has done a lot of wickedness in the earth, man. He's responsible for a lot. That's why all of the nations are going to have to pay back. Okay, all of the sins that were done in the earth, it's all going to be paid back. This is the time of recompense, man, and it starts with that great day of the Lord. And the heathen are going to pay it off for generations, man. All right. It says, into the land of their habitation, and they shall be there a base kingdom. All right. And so it's no wonder that the bases of men took on the ways of Egypt. All right. And they're the bases of men themselves, man. All right. Like you can just see it. You're crying working a Starbucks job, man, 8 hours. There's guys working on railroads, working out in the elements, in the cold, on oil rigs. Those guys are far and few in between, and you know what? Those guys don't get any. A guy could be a construction worker making $150,000 a year, and he'll still have a hard time. All right, getting the attention of women. He'll have a hard time just speaking, man, because he can't say certain things without coming off as hyper masculine. You know. They completely killed manhood in this society, all right? And that's how we know that we're at the end, and that's how we know that America is the spiritual Egypt, all right? Verse 15, it says, it shall be the basis of the kingdoms, neither shall it exalt itself any more above the nations, for I will diminish them, that they shall no more rule over the nations, all right? So the Lord is not going to suffer base men to rule over the other nations. Even the heathen are going to be blessed in that regard. Just by not having Esau in rulership, other kingdoms are going to be blessed, man. You see? The Lord has this whole thing set up, man. All right? So you shouldn't be trusting in this place. That's why Isaiah, the 30th chapter, goes in about not trusting into this place, man. All right. Verse 16, it says, and it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel. You see, we put so much confidence and faith into things that are hard to believe when it's on the left-hand side. But when we tell you about the miracles and things that we're going to perform, the salvation of chariots, y'all scoff at it, man. But you put your confidence in the ways of Egypt and the ways of Sodom and Gomorrah, man. It says, which bringeth their iniquity to remembrance when they shall look after them, but they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So that's the whole point of this place getting confounded. It's being discovered right now, man. All right. Whenever you got guys like this, man, okay, his people, they're winning. Okay. He working at Starbucks is doing better than the vast majority of people, on the planet. All right. He's really got no reason to be overly stressed, but look at them, man. They're broken down. All right. The scriptures say the men of Babylon are forborn to fight, man. Why? Because really they're not really men. You know what I mean? And this is the last precept I'll get before we shut it down. Daniel 4:17, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones. All right, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. All right. So the Lord decides what empire is next, what kingdom is next, who got next. That's up to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. It's got nothing to do with how strong people are, how smart they are, how large their population is. None of that has anything to do, all right, with whether or not a kingdom starts to rule. Okay. The Greeks were a small nation at one point. The Romans were a small nation at one point. But what happened? They grew, they flourished. Why? Because the Most High gave Esau the power of the sword. All right? He put a spirit in him to be experts at warfare, man. All right? Because it was his will that they would rule and do all kind of wickedness in the earth. All right? It says, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, he setteth up over it the basis of men. All right, and that's the main precept, man. The Lord can do whatever the hell he wants. That's why you got guys like these people, man. They would have never made it in chattel slavery, man. They wouldn't have. There's no way. You see. But they were way stronger back then, and they still wouldn't have made it. Not even close, man. But now this place is so decadent; it's all falling apart. They're basically women now, man. All right. This place has got to go, man. All right, it's got to go. Now you see why we tell you not to put your life. Or put your eggs into the basket of Egypt and America, you know, the American dream, because the Lord is dead set against it. He's already prophesied against it. And if for those that have eyes to see, you can see this place falling apart. Really, everybody can see it because it's so obvious now. At one point, it required spiritual eyes to see it, but now, you know, it's out of control. Even women can see it, man. They know in their spirit that something terrible is getting ready to happen. Because all of the men are weak, all the women are masculine, okay? There's infighting on basic things like what a woman is, and all these different things, man. All right. So I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash, Wa Abba Babal, Shalom.